Hey everybody. To upload videos and reflect online about my thoughts instead of introspecting in privacy and authenticity is more narcissistic than not doing it, okay? And indeed, I started doing this as a reaction to narcissistic abuse because narcissists internalize you as an object, amputating all human traits and treating you the same way. And when they come along with a psychopath that gaslights you in another way, they question your sense of self so deeply that you might feel unsafe about yourself, or they create ambiguity, and this makes you feel drained and exhausted from trying to understand the chaos, the ambiguity, the insecurity, and to insist on myself, on my truth, my identity core and my moral core. I started uploading these videos on YouTube as a diary that cannot get lost in the chaos of the life when you deal with these empty entities, hollow figures, hollow faces, parasitic entities. You know, a covert narcissist is a parasite obsessed by other parasites. Yeah, and what I realized is I believe when I believe my true self is quite alive, it's there. But what I realized is that by people pleasing is a let's say people pleasing is our false self. So we do a lot of things to fit in, to fulfill all our roles, and by doing so we exhaust ourselves so much that we don't have the energy left to live our true self. Our true self, which is in the first place caring and parenting ourselves, but also being present and relaxed and sharing this self-love with others around us. So in the best case, we don't please everybody, or we have an environment that provides us with so much energy that we're able to please some people and still are able to live and let our true self shine in the form of taking care of for ourselves and others in a completely free space, in a non-transactional way, in an unconditional way. This is the space where empathy, real empathy, can flow. I also said that I think being overly empathetic is not good. And I believe that I was overly empathetic. Now, I think we have to accept that there is certain realities that an immature, naive person will deny. I recently also I ask this question to you. I think we have to accept the reality that we speak of colors like white and black people. I wanted to reject these categories because I don't feel that way, and I don't believe in genetic purity. But I think we have to simply accept the reality of the existence of these categories in the heads of the majority. So I have to accept it. It's a waste of energy to fight the concept white and black. All right. The same is with, let's say, I'm a rebel and I want peace worldwide, and I say we all have to be peaceful. Everybody needs to be super peaceful and just take care of his own business. Does this stop the wicked man in the seats of judgment who train soldiers to reduce their threshold to kill, or even now the industry to build as much autonomous kill drones as possible? No, it will not stop them. These are realities we have to accept. And the same is, we have to accept that covert narcissists and psychopaths walk this planet, and yes, some of them might also get into the seats of judgment. And these are absolute empty, pitiful creatures that have nothing in common with the essence of being a human being. They have no idea about it. But they pretend to be the most grandiose of them, and they have the desire to lead and rule. They are territorial, they're dominant, and they are aggressive or passive aggressive. Okay, these are realities. And because of these realities, being overly empathetic is bad. But it would also be very bad, even worse, to lose empathy. So, as the word sin means to miss the mark. I think I'm doing a dopamine detox at the moment, even stopped drinking coffee now. The next logical thing would be to retreat a little bit from social media. But I will not fix everything at once. And I think it's not that bad. I think to miss the mark is to sin. And when I'm on a dopamine reset like I am, it shifts my perception to many things. And I will have to recalibrate everything, my empathy. I have to also see this tendency that narcissistic abuse makes us, as I always said already, but Sam Vaknin can just describe it better. I always said narcissists trigger our narcissistic defenses because narcissism is in everybody, is a natural ingredient to humans. It's just that pathological narcissists are empty and are only ruled by their narcissistic personality traits, which result in a false self rooted in falsehood and a grandiose sense of self. Anyway, how Sam Vaknin shaped it is that we develop narcissistic traits to defend our true self, to defend against this amputation of the narcissist that internalizes us as an object, a simplified object. And to fight this, what is often, if a psychopath is involved, or a dysfunctional family cult is involved, this behavior of internalizing you, so the covert narcissist internalizes you as an object that is amputated of all human traits, just like the covert narcissist is. They try to understand us the same way they are. I mean, you can't teach the blind to see, right? And this behavior is validated inside the malignant shared fantasy of the cult. This creates a lot of cognitive dissonance in the victims, confuses them, because suddenly you witness a clown's theater play, grown-up children playing with makeup and clown costumes, worshipping, bringing forth human sacrifice inside the cult, and you can just witness it, and and you're very confused. What the fuck is going on? So to defend against that, when you're isolated and you stand against a majority of stupid, brainwashed people, you develop narcissistic traits, which is a compensation for insecurity. It feels unsafe. You become insecure when you witness something like that. And that is where the narcissist comes from. They do this human sacrifice, the humiliation rituals, the territorial control, because they need their shared fantasy to be validated by coerced cult members, the passive aggression, the aggression, the gaslighting. All they do is based on insecurity, because they don't know who they are. And this is the place where they want to bring you, by acting out this clown theater. It's made to confuse you, and so you see a clown playing an internalized, dehumanized version of you, and is validated by coerced cult members that are not allowed to speak the truth, that are afraid of emotional dysregulations of the coward, that are enabled by psychopath. And all of this is celebrated inside this bottomless pit, in this hell, in this hyena den. So therefore, I say unto you, don't cast your pearls before swine, for they will turn and rend you. Now, that being said, you see how grandiose I become? That's narcissistic, right? So, you see, we need to monitor ourselves after narcissistic abuse for what is our true self, what is our false self, when do we please others, and this leads us to abandon our true self. And this is really hard when you're a hyper-functioning griefer and you survive in a world where they have put you under a lot of pressure. How could you try to not fit in, right? How could you not try to perform like a maniac, like a savage, like a berserker? So where is your true self now while you hyper-perform just to get your head over the water? And at the same time, you know that the narcissists, the cowards, are hiding in a victimhood mentality, and the psychopaths show up as misled maternal instincts, protecting the cowards, the impotent cowards, right? And you don't want to take the same narrative. You don't want to say, I'm a victim. I'm not a victim, you know what I'm saying? But even though you paint this picture of reality that is true, it still means that you're a victim because you're human. You're a victim because you are human. This means narcissism sticks to your fingers like shit. Because to fight it back, to insist on your reality, your true self, your moral core, your identity core, you are forced to adopt narcissistic methods. At the same time, there is more challenges to this, because if somebody wants explanation for you for what's going on, you're telling them what is truly happening, and this frames you as a victim. But the narcissist is already the victim. The narcissist is already hiding. The narcissist is dysfunctional, lives off social welfare, has to go to jail or to asylum, is utterly dysfunctional, can't look their children in the eyes because they are ashamed of what they are, and so on and so on. So how can you be a victim as well? It's not possible. So therefore, you must be hyper-functioning, you must be the villain, and at the same time, save your true self that is depleted, that is not feeling safe. There is no father, no mother inside that can protect it. You must be all of that at the same time. This leaves us in a situation that is truly, it needs a true hero to come up. But the narcissist is already doing heroic journeys. The narcissist is a true hero, a parasitic, dysfunctional, impotent hero, so you can't even play the role of the hero. So you stop playing, you're just walking, you're just being, and you realize that one day you just have to leave it behind, because shit will always stick to your fingers.